Good afternoon. Today is day 4 of the Good Wealth Protection is Power 10-day sprint. And today we stand at the Carter G. Woodson Home in Washington, D.C., the home of the man known as the father of Black history, a man who dedicated his life to exposing a dangerous truth. When people do not know what has been hidden from them, they become vulnerable to systems they cannot see. Woodson understood that the greatest theft is not always the theft of money. Sometimes it is the theft of knowledge. Sometimes it is the theft of perspective. Sometimes it is the theft of understanding. And today I want to talk about a different kind of history, the hidden financial history of America. The lessons taught in boardrooms, but rarely taught in neighborhoods. The conversations happening in wealth management firms, but rarely happening around kitchen tables. The educational loopholes, because there are two economies operating in America today. One economy is built on labor. The other economy is built on leverage. One economy teaches people to work harder. The other teaches people how to make their money work harder. One economy teaches people to trade time for dollars. The other teaches people how to multiply dollars across time. One economy leaves families exhausted. The other leaves families positioned. And the tragedy is not that these lessons exist. The tragedy is that so many families never hear them. That is why today is not simply about protection. Today is about revelation. Today we pull back the curtain. Today we expose the educational loopholes. The first loophole is what I call the velocity loophole. Most people are taught a simple formula. Work, save, spend, repeat. Work, save, spend, repeat. Money comes in, money sits, money leaves. That is the cycle. But many wealthy families ask a different question. How many jobs can $1 perform? How many places can $1 work? How many times can $1 serve the family? Certain cash value life insurance strategies are sometimes used as part of broader financial plans, where policy owners may access policy value while continuing to build long-term assets. Think about that idea. The middle class often spends money once. The wealthy often seek ways to make money work repeatedly. $1, multiple assignments. One asset, multiple purposes. That is the velocity loophole. Not merely saving money, but increasing the productivity of money. The second loophole is what I call the ownership loophole. Most people are taught own everything yourself, put everything in your name, hold everything personally, because ownership feels powerful. But sophisticated families often focus on something deeper than ownership, control. They understand that trust and estate planning structures can help preserve assets, guide wealth across generations, and create continuity. The average person asks, what do I own? The sophisticated family asks, what can I preserve? One conversation is about possession, the other is about legacy. One conversation ends with a lifetime, the other extends beyond it. The third loophole is what I call the tax loophole of understanding. Many Americans spend their lives earning income first and paying taxes second. But sophisticated investors often spend their lives acquiring assets. Assets that appreciate, assets that grow, assets that create future opportunities. Because they understand a principle. There is a difference between working for money and positioning money to work. And when families learn that distinction, they begin making different decisions. Not overnight, not magically, but strategically. Now let me tell you why this matters. Because these loopholes are not reserved for Wall Street. They are not reserved for billionaires. They are not reserved for elite institutions. And that is exactly why good wealth exists. We are not discussing velocity, ownership, and financial strategy simply to impress you. We are not exposing these educational loopholes just to show you what others know. We are building a bridge between knowledge and action, a bridge between exposure and preparation, a bridge between information and implementation. Because knowledge without access is frustration. Knowledge without application is entertainment. Knowledge without execution changes nothing. And that is why this movement exists, to make uncommon knowledge common, to bring conversations once reserved for boardrooms into living rooms, to bring strategies once discussed behind closed doors into communities that deserve access to them. The velocity loophole is not just for Wall Street. It is for your street. The ownership loophole is not just for elite institutions. It is for your household. The educational advantages enjoyed by a few should become opportunities available to many. Now let me paint a picture of what happens when these loopholes are finally closed. Imagine a grandmother whose family is not trapped in probate court after she passes. Imagine a father who builds protection while creating future opportunities for his children. Imagine a mother who no longer fears that one unexpected event could erase everything she spent decades building. Imagine children inheriting knowledge instead of confusion. Imagine communities funding businesses instead of only funding emergencies. Imagine neighborhoods known for ownership instead of exposure. Imagine families operating from preparation instead of panic. That is the difference between the labor economy and the leverage economy. One constantly reacts, the other intentionally prepares. One survives, the other compounds, one hopes, the other plans, and for those who are still wondering whether protection matters, let me give you 5 truths. Truth number 1. Life does not ask for permission. No family schedules a tragedy. No family puts hardship on a calendar. No family wakes up expecting crisis. Protection exists because uncertainty exists. Truth number 2. The people you love will inherit the consequences of the decisions you make today, whether those consequences are preparation or panic, whether those consequences are stability or struggle, whether those consequences are resilience or recovery. Someone will inherit the outcome. Truth number 3. Protection buys time, and time is one of the most valuable assets a family can possess. Time to grieve, time to think, time to heal, time to rebuild. Without protection, families are often forced to make permanent decisions during temporary pain. Truth number 4. Protection creates options, and options create freedom. The family with options can think clearly. The family with options can plan strategically. The family with options can move from survival mode into opportunity mode. Truth number 5. Every generation eventually decides whether it will transfer struggle or transfer wisdom, whether it will transfer confusion or transfer preparation, whether it will transfer liabilities or transfer legacy. And that decision is being made right now, not tomorrow, not next year, right now. And that brings us back to Carter G. Woodson, because Woodson understood something that remains true today. When people understand history, they gain perspective. When they gain perspective, they make better decisions. When they make better decisions, they create different futures. And when enough futures change, communities transform. Our children deserve more than our hopes. They deserve our education. Our families deserve more than our intentions. They deserve our preparation. Our communities deserve more than survival. They deserve multiplication. They deserve resilience. They deserve strength. But strength is not a feeling. Strength is a structure. And multiplication is not a dream. It is a mechanism. We did not launch this 10-day sprint simply to give you new terms to memorize. We launched it to give you a blueprint to execute, to turn awareness into action, to turn conversations into plans, to turn preparation into power. So before today ends, I want you to ask yourself one question. What financial lesson do you wish someone had taught you 10 years ago? Then ask someone you love that same question, because conversations create awareness. Awareness creates action. Action creates preparation, and preparation creates power. Do not let this be just another speech you heard. Let this be the day your family's trajectory begins to change. Download the Day 4 Blueprint. Join tomorrow's session. Continue the conversation. Because the goal is not simply to learn what was hidden. The goal is to build what lasts. My name is Rahdric C, founder of Good Wealth, and this is Day 4 of the Protectionist Power 10-Day Sprint. Learn what has been hidden. Protect what you love. Teach the next generation. Because protection is power. Every family, every community, every future. God bless you.